Hello, and we are at Brilliant Massage and Skin Stowe here with our owner Kristy, and I'm Yolita Brilliant, and we will talk about some of the misconceptions and things people don't know about running massage and skincare business or working in one, and what it takes to go from solo practitioner to more like a leadership role and management role.
Yeah, and I really like this topic. I've worked in the industry for some decades, not to age myself, and I've seen a lot of those misconceptions, even from kind of within our own industry and
Yes.
therapists. What it takes from you can be a wonderful therapist.
Yes.
We have our skills. We go to school. We, engage with our clients.
We learn anatomy and deep tissue massage and Swedish and cupping and all the variety of thousand styles and techniques.
But sometimes just being that very well-versed therapist as far as the business practices, it's the marriage of both of those things.
Yes, because you can be great hands-on, but if you don't have interpersonal skills, let's call them maybe sales skill even, like educating customers about the benefits of regular care, not being afraid to tell them, hey, I would like to see you every 3 or 2 weeks, or I think you would really not see much benefit if you only come once or twice a year to see me. And some therapists out there are scared or just feel they don't want to come off like salesy. But, for example, chiropractors don't have issues saying things like that, or other medical professionals don't have. Eye doctor doesn't have a problem saying you need to come every.
We're going to rebook you in 2-3 weeks. Here's your next appointment.
Or dentist.
Correct.
Yeah. Like teeth cleaning, you need it every 6 months.
Exactly. So as great as our skills are and everything, and I don't like to be salesy.
We're not salesy.
Yeah. I even had like a reservation about being like, oh, I'm going into a franchise, just that word and kind of like the idea or the thought and kind of like energetically, am I putting that like sales energy into my clients, but I'm not. I'm just like, I'm here, doing what I do, and I just, but I've seen other therapists struggle with it.
Yes. Yeah. And also, since you brought that up with the franchise, each franchise is not equal any other franchise. Like what really we're doing and what good franchises are, they are support systems that provide centralized marketing support system, software. So it takes off a lot of backstage work, behind the scenes work that the owner doesn't have to. So you can focus on, making relationships with customers, getting out in the community, hiring people, managing people, and we take care of like the marketing piece more so. And like you use already existing a membership model and appointment setting, automation, things like that. And
I feel like in our industry, a lot of people are kind of like more free-spirited and, myself included in that sense. However, that doesn't mean that I don't have bills to pay. I don't have a schedule to keep and a family to take care of.
Yes.
Right. And so having these systems and practices in place allows me to do the work that I want to do. I think we talked about another misconception too, about kind of like hours and scheduling and flexibility for massage therapists or estheticians that are new into the industry.
Yeah, so a lot of people think they can just do it part-time because spa must be relaxing work only. And while, it is more flexible than a regular 9 to 5, but you're still gonna have to show up, you're still gonna have to put the hours in, you're still gonna have to, whatever your role is, whether you're performing services or you're marketing, or you're trying to be solo therapist, then it's even more, you're going to have to wear so many hats because you have to do everything yourself. It's really not a part-time gig unless you only serve your friends and family. But if you want to actually build an actual business with an actual sustainable income, it's going to be a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to build a business where you have payroll and marketing and this and that, it's like any other business in that sense. Yes, I do like to say I meditate for a living, when I'm with my clients and in service. And I do show up and hold that space for them. However, as a mother, I hear a lot of people like, oh, I can get into massage or aesthetics because it's a little part-time thing I can do. And what I would say about that, speaking from my personal experience, is weekends are needed, evenings, so it's kind of actually opposite some of the school schedules and things like that. So,
unless I've seen some mothers that homeschool their kids.
I've done that too.
So they might homeschool in the daytime, and then their spouse comes back in the afternoon and the weekends with the kids. And then, she goes out. I actually just did interview for a massage therapist position a couple weeks ago, and she's homeschooling still, even though her kid's getting older. So she's thinking maybe to send them to school now, as it's getting more complicated with the classes and everything.
Right. And my suggestion with that is like, whatever your support network is, whatever your schedule or your family looks like, just understand the industry that you're getting into, like any other industry.
Yes, because the most in demand hours are going to be afternoons, weekends, because a lot of people out there do work Monday through Friday, morning to around afternoon, or 9 to 5. So you got to be prepared. And then, you can't just call out all the time either, because you're not going to build your regular clientele if you're busy and you're not able to stick to the schedule, because you constantly, thinking, oh, it's flexible, I can move people around. Clients don't like that. That's how you lose customers.
It is, yeah. And, I've had to cancel clients or things like that, and life happens. Life is on life's terms, like anyone else in any industry at all. And we're not performing brain surgery, we're doing massage. But people take a special time in their lives to come and have this experience with us. So it's very important to be consistent.
Yeah, because oftentimes it is anniversary. It can be like people that don't come, let's say monthly. We have people that come in for special weekend with their spouse, or birthday,
anniversaries,
weddings.
Yes.
Special time that they booked for their mother, or, their gift for their child, so there is, oftentimes very important part of their week that they're looking forward to that appointment.
Some people plan these things like months in advance. I get a lot of calls. I have some calls to call back after this, where, hey, we have these people coming for this occasion, on this specific week. So just to be consistent and to show up for those, that time for those people, that's what we do. And yes, it's on a weekend or an evening.
Yeah. And also, just because you're good at working at the spa doesn't mean you're going to be a good business owner too. Because I've seen people that they were killing it in a spa setting. They were getting a lot of repeat customers. They were getting 5-star reviews. But when they try to go on their business on their own, well, it's a different skill set. Like we did talk, you gotta become technology savvy now. You gotta do the website, the Google ads, the Facebook, the go network with the local community. You gotta decide, which payroll company to use, taxes, all these things. So it is a lot, and that sometimes is not what they want. Like if you want to only be in a treatment room and don't want to manage other people, don't go into business.
Yeah.
Because like then the management skill you have to hire as well, and you gonna have to resolve some conflict sometime. Like staff's gonna get into some occasional, disagreement or whatever. You might need to answer also customer complaints that you didn't do, that maybe your staff made an error. So it's a different skill set.
Yeah, and it is difficult. I don't particularly love confrontation. I'm good at it. I can do it, and I know that going into a business ownership level of my life, that I'm okay with doing that. I can answer for other people, but it's not for everyone. It's not for the faint of heart.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. So, and you have to be very fair, and if you're not a fair person, don't be a business owner, because you're gonna have to sometimes make some decisions about people's lives, whether to even let go somebody, then you got to look at both parties, like, what happened, and investigate things sometimes. So, and that's where like the franchise support helps, because you got somebody to talk to, and there's systems and processes. Like we've had, like we were discussing also how like some people don't want to get full schooling, they want to get into massage therapy, and they asking us to hire them, but they haven't had appropriate schooling, so that's something we have to be firm on as well as business owners, to maintain that quality.
Right. Yeah, because at the end of the day, everything our employees and our team does reflects on us and our business as a whole, right? And the industry and massage therapy as a whole. So it's interesting, like some of the misconceptions that are just in the world, in our industry in general. And yeah, I have many years experience with those types of things, and that's why I always say I'm a massage therapist, and I correct people when they say masseuse. Like there's just very like some little subtleties sometimes, but it's not a subtlety that you need to understand anatomy, physiology, and pathology. And cleanliness practices. Like you can't just because you're an intuitive and you feel like you're a healer, good for you, go to school.
Yes.
So, not to be harsh.
Like you said, and also getting education, and then putting time into trying to become the best you can, and putting that practice in, because well, you studied chemistry, right?
I did,
yeah. But if we don't practice it, we're gonna forget these things. So the same with massage therapy. Like you can't say you're a massage therapist if you didn't go to school and then you didn't practice it. So we have to take this seriously, like any other profession, because we are touching people when they are in a vulnerable state. They're taking their clothes off. It's only a safety and liability issue as well.
Yeah, the liabilities, there's contraindications that we need to understand, like the physiology for if people have certain injuries, past surgeries, health treatments such as like cancer treatments, things like this.
Same like with aesthetics, we need to make sure that a esthetician knows different skin types, that they know different contraindications. So even though Vermont state currently does not require minimum hours, we as a brand, we do ask our applicants that they do have training, not just go on the site with the state of Vermont and sign up to be registered massage therapists without training.
Correct.
So that is important. Sometimes you can have maybe try to work under somebody and be like an apprentice, but I found those programs usually not as good as actually going to school. And then I think we've had some people that are self-taught, that they thought that they were great, but they just don't have even the ethics. I feel like the ethics, what's lacking too when people don't go to school, because you already starting off the wrong foot. You already starting off not taking it seriously because you didn't go to school, right?
Yeah. I mean, I can be a self-proclaimed a lot of things, but that's why, I didn't pursue my science career. I didn't pursue a lot of things. I pursued this, and I did it with my full heart and my full mind. And I've worked, in with women in childbirth. I've worked with professional athletes. All of this in the massage therapy field.
Yeah.
And I can say that with confidence, that I actually know what I'm doing, because I have not only the experience, but the predecessors before me, and the education.
And I would also say, to run a spa, so to do services, of course, you gotta be licensed. I would say that to run a spa, you don't necessarily need to have had hands-on, like you could be good in HR, for example, and run a spa, but you still need to be a people's person as far as being like a manager. And you gotta have compassion, because you're dealing with people, and sometimes people that are in pain, like the customers. So if you want to be a business owner in a spa, I think that's more important even than to being good therapist, actually, is to be good in business. Because I feel like if you take a good massage therapist that hates sales and business, doesn't want to do anything with educating customers.
No, that's not me.
No, it's not you. No, it's not. You can hate it, but still do it well.
Yeah.
But we had people that hate it that don't do it. There's things I don't love, but I do it because I know that's what I need to do in order to keep moving forward and being in business. I enjoy marketing, but some people maybe don't, but they still do it, right?
Right. And I think it's, if you can't suit up and show up, that's kind of the real question. And that's maybe an internal, like we could get philosophical about,
some blockages.
Yeah, like what do you need? What's blocking you from taking the next step? And where do you fit? Like, are you better as just not
maybe
just,
you're
but
the best at being face front with customer as a service provider,
and that's an important role too.
It's not better or worse,
right? Like, I'm not trying to be comparative about that. It's like better to be a business owner or a therapist.
It's not. It's just different.
Yeah, it's just that we have to know ourselves and know our strengths and assets, defects, that kind of thing.
But if I had to choose like who I would want to work with, like running our next location, let's say, for example, if they said, a therapist that knows massage therapy, but they're very repulsed by idea of marketing and business, I'd say no. But then if I had a person that didn't do massage therapy, but they're passionate about marketing, managing people, business stuff, that would be the person would choose, because you can learn about the massage industry. It does help if you had prior experience. Like, you are like the best combination of things, because you're good hands-on and you're good with people and managing and leading. And we are also working together with marketing. We're helping you with the technology part, but you are kind of like a unicorn where you have all those pieces in you. But I think the most important is to not be afraid to grow, and not have those blocks.
Yeah, I think like when I find myself where I'm like, oh, this is fear-based thinking. And I'm like, I don't like doing social media. I don't like doing a video right now with you guys. but I'm doing it. You know, we went to a breakfast, a business association breakfast before this, you know. And
by the way, I didn't make her do this video.
No, I'm not being held hostage. I'm doing this of my own free will. But I do love it too, because it takes me into places outside of my comfort zone. And I'm like, yeah, like I have more potential. You know, because I could just be in a treatment room all day, or you know, taking care of my family and, you know, not talk to the outside world.
It's serving more. It's pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zone. And that's what was my dilemma when I was just starting like a solo, but I knew I wanted to contribute more to the community.
Yeah.
And I knew I could do more, and I had to go out of my comfort zone and put myself out there, do more marketing, you know, spread the word as much as possible. And it gets easier over time. I feel like we always are afraid of, or like new is hard, you know, new things are hard.
Change is uncomfortable.
Change is uncomfortable.
Absolutely. But if we don't change, you know.
Yeah, it's like exercise, you know. If you go first time to the gym, everything is sore, everything hurts. But then if you keep showing up years and decades, and then you feel great.
Yeah.
And it takes time, and it takes longer than people think to build a business too. Like to gain traction, it's not an overnight thing that you just put up a sign and now people gonna like barging in your door. No, you do have to, you know, put up ads. You have to go out in the community. You have to build your employees team.
There's a lot of sacrifice that comes with any new journey. You know, I feel like some of my friends, I was talking to some of my friends this morning, and they're like, oh, you're a boss, you're doing, and I'm like, you know, it's hard. There's a lot of things that I'm gonna have to cut out from my life. Yeah, it's more responsibility, but I chose this and I want this, you know, and I'm doing it. However, I also am realistic. It's like, I'm not, you know, I'm not even trying to be a millionaire. That would be great. Like whatever. I'm just trying to get through life in a responsible way.
And you will be if you keep going. You know, if one foot in front of the other, it's not really even the destination, is the journey to get there.
And that's what I mean. It's like,
and who you become as a person through that journey. Because I'd say nothing as much as business ownership stretched me to my max limits as the business ownership, like to become better person.
Right. Yeah. And I've been stretched to my max in many ways and aspects of my life. But speaking on this journey through spa business ownership and having been in the industry, you know, it's like, this is like a different level of personal journey, but I'm prepared for it, you know. But it's also just, I think, to kind of summarize like what our talk is about, is just being realistic about what we're actually doing, what our intentions are, and that it's not just an instant, you know, instant gratification journey, you know, business ownership in any sense.
And then you just gotta stay strategic. You can't give up. And other thing, I've seen people give up too soon, you know. I've seen people, or they go out, spend too much money too fast, maybe sign on too big of a space or a lease, and then they're not able to get that traction fast enough, and now they have to close down because they went off. And that's not just with spa. I've seen that with restaurants. I've seen that
restaurants
with
is a huge
businesses.
one. Yeah.
But so sometimes like starting smaller and then kind of growing organically from that, where you're able to keep those costs lower at the year 1, 2, and then you can add, you know, more space as you build your team, as you build your Google listing, reviews, everything, you know, you gain that recognition in the area.
Yeah, and that's the model I'm currently going on, just personally speaking, and we'll see if we can scale. But it's like really looking at all those numbers and what is going to work for this area, for this market.
You had the best month so far last month. So now we are working on hiring more people. If you're in the Stowe area, please reach out to us. We're looking for massage therapists
and esthetician.
We got our PCA. This is very high-end brand with chemical peels.
Yeah, PCA is a wonderful brand that we work with. So if you're interested in joining our team, come find us. Yeah,
absolutely. And then, like we talked in some of the previous videos, we don't want to burn out our staff or yourself, and because we do more like a sustainable kind of daily scheduling approach, where we're not just, conveyor belt. We actually care about the well-being of the therapist and make sure, we build that rapport with customers and local clientele. We're not like just like a resort spa. We actually building treatment plans for people. We want to see people come back and see locals as well. I mean, we're not turning down visitors, of course, but we also are trying to build that rapport with local customers.
Yeah, we're a treatment-based, service-based business, and we believe very firmly and highly in our skills and our staff, and that's
and teaching people. So that's the other thing business owners, need to think about, coaching their team members to build rapport and build their books, with regular clientele.
Yeah, rebooking, client rapport, all of that.
All best practices.
Absolutely.
We train. So if you're out of school, it's a great place to come work with us, because we will train you how to build your schedule, with regular customers.
Yeah, I've had clients that from our corporate location here with Yolita have followed me down to my, because I build that rapport with my clients and I have that relationship.
Yeah. And some people that maybe, like we also talk, that you completely don't want to do anything with point of sale or rebooking or building treatment plans, then maybe resort, where you just show up, boom, 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 and then you leave and never see those people again. I mean, that's preference for some people.
A paycheck is a paycheck.
But it can become very tiring for most people working that way.
I think that's where the burnout in our industry that we talked about and previously. Injuries. Burnout, injuries.
I've seen people get injured a lot when they do this type of practice where no breaks or barely just enough time to change the sheets, and 6, 7 with no breaks appointments.
Right. Yeah. We want you to be hydrated and to eat food. And I do cook a lot. I always have extra stuff for my staff if you're here.
Yeah, that's incentive, one of the incentives. And we do have bonuses, you get 5-star reviews. If they get great retention and package membership sales, you get bonuses and competitive commission plus tips.
Membership sales, and the referral bonuses and that type of thing. I'm not saying I'll cook for you every day, but I'm just saying.
but that is some of the things that goes into business ownership that new owners or people that work at a spa, because I've had also people that work at the spa and they think running a spa is very easy, but they don't think about those behind the scene things, like the management, the training, the supplies, the marketing.
Supplies, laundry, just keeping the space clean, if your team doesn't show up to kind of do those duties, that type of thing, where it's like, I'm responsible for how this space looks, how it's decorated, the cleanliness, at the end of the day, if someone doesn't properly sanitize
and keep, and then you have to also again that comes management part, then you need to train the person to make sure they clean up too.
Correct. Yeah.
And then I guess the last point I wanted to come back a little bit, that sometimes, so people, when they get into, they think, oh, I'll leave the spa, I'll go business for myself. And then they realize, oh, it's harder than I thought. And then they try, and then they give up, but there is that period of time that you need somebody's support system to tell you not to give up, and that's why getting a mentor or having maybe family members can support you, or getting into franchise, working with the brand that is gonna tell you, no, you just keep doing this, it will work out, you just can't give up.
Yeah, and I think going back to something I said earlier about just like that wording or the idea that I had in my head and those preconceived notions of like what a franchise is. And now it's like, I understand it's just a support network. You can think of, because I think of these national brands that I'm like, well, I don't like necessarily support
that. We think about like fast food,
I was gonna say like McDonald's or that type of thing, not to name drop, but and so I'm like, those were my preconceived notions business wise as to what a franchise is.
But there's so many franchises out there that we don't even know it's a franchise. There's cleaning franchises, there's construction blinds franchises, like you wouldn't even know it's a franchise, glass repair, auto repair, car dealerships, those are all franchises.
It's just a business model. So it's just like the kind of re-understanding and kind of processing how we think of business. And
it's not all McDonald's and Wendy's.
Some of us are holistic healers out here.
Exactly.
So
well, do you want to add any other points before we wrap up?
I just think it's not a journey to take lightly. As silly as I am of a person, and she knows me, I'm a very silly, fun person, but
I love that about you.
Well, thank you. But I take business and my family and my journey seriously. So if I wasn't serious about like doing the work that needs to be done for this journey, I wouldn't have, I could have just easily floated along and just been another therapist in the room. So it's a choice that we make at a certain point.
It's a responsibility, and you have to be emotionally intelligent person too, and because there's going to be sometimes some ups and downs, some emotional times, some situations, like I mentioned, sometimes you need to resolve certain things. You have to be, and you are that person.
Oh, thank you. I mean, there's a conversation I'm going to have later that I don't want to have, and it's like, well, but for the betterment of our team and our brand, I'm going to have that conversation, so making decisions like that.
And over time, that investment pays off, it will pays off if that's your dream, if that's anybody's dream to be in a leadership role, own a business, it does pay off. All work works. It's just sometimes we don't see those results tomorrow. But if you stay with it, it combines.
Work is work. Is what you're trying to say. Work is hard work.
It is.
At the end of the day, it's hard.
And it adds up. You learn, you grow, and then you do have financial rewards as well. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in. Let us know what questions or things you maybe do not know or learn in our video that was eye-opening about massage and skincare businesses. We would love to hear, so don't hesitate. Post in the comments, and we'll see you next video.
Thanks. Have a brilliant day. And I'm always open as a seasoned practitioner for people who are new or not in the industry, and just getting feedback or questions you have and sharing experiences.
Yes. And if you want to come work with us, reach out to us as well. Burlington, South Burlington, Stowe. And then if you're in other state, we're looking for people to partner up as well.
Thanks. Have a brilliant day.
Have a brilliant day.